Okay, so I was telling you guys how his mom was doing all kind of stuff on him with the roots and all of that, and uh, this it's not like anyone has shown me this. The Holy Spirit has shown me this many times and over the last several years, and it's a lot of people who they understand that because where they come from, they understand that people do this, and there are evil people, but there's people who can't believe that someone could do that to their own son. And I tell them all the time, yes, they can do it. They do it. You know, evil things happen all day, all the time. And so, you know, it took a long time for me to see this because you don't think that someone's mom would do this to them. But there are those who do. So anyway, I met my friend, and she's a real spiritual person. She can see things, and I didn't tell her anything. She's told me things about my life, my friend. So my friend Lisa, she told me things about myself that I did not tell her, that nobody knows, that are personal. So I know she knows what she's talking about, and she's told me things several times. So we're talking, you know, we pray together and whatnot, and so she goes into telling me the things that she sees, because she can see things. She sees things. She has the gift of sight, where she can see things that have happened. And she was telling me things that his mom had did. And I know it's his mom because I know the only two people who are working the roots on Wayne is Jacita and Toya. So she goes on to describe to me what she saw. And I didn't tell her nothing about the situation. You know, we were just talking, and she was telling me, I see this over here and this over here. But so you know that I'm not lying. I'm going to let her tell you herself. Her name is Lisa. This is my friend Lisa. And I just want you, Lisa, to just say what you saw when we were praying and you were telling me that you saw, you know, I'm not even going to put words in your mouth because I know that people will try to say, okay, she's putting words in your mouth. No, this woman can see things. There are people who have gifts. So, you know, the Lord is showing me. This is what I mean when I say the Lord is showing me things all the time through various ways, through dreams, through people, through situations. You see? And God will bring it clear. He'll bring it clear. So anyway, okay, so I'm going to put Lisa on so she can tell you herself, you know, what she saw. And I didn't give her any names or anything. So she didn't know any names. She just said, this is what I see. Okay, I'm gonna let her tell you. Okay, Lisa, just say what you saw that day when we were talking and praying and whatever. Whatever you saw.
Okay. First of all, God reveals all things about His children. We are all His children, and He is aware of who we are and what is happening to us at every gifts. We all have the same gifts. It's just up to us to be able to accept that we have them and accept that it comes from God. Now, when we are praying with new friends or with strangers, we don't know anything about that person or their lives or their family or the people they are affiliated with. But God does, because He is omnipresent and He knows all things at all times. Now, when I was praying for this situation, I saw two women. I saw an older woman and I saw a younger woman. The woman who was dressed very loosely, and with the older woman, I saw a doll. And I saw that this doll was turned on its face. And I know that the doll itself was male-shaped, meaning that it didn't have a dress or anything like that, but it had on pants and a shirt. It was a male figure. And I didn't know who those women are. But I went on further to describe the older woman and the fact that she was using this object as a controlling device for a person who is lost or far away from God. They have no idea what is being done to them because they themselves are not spiritual. So they have no defense. Their only defense is through intercession, through intercessory prayer. And if there are not people who are interceding for that person, they will continue to be in subjection to the person that is doing a work against them. And it is not a very smart thing if you are a type of person who says, oh, I believe in God, but I don't believe in this. For even God's word warns us about witchcraft. And in this world, there are many types of witchcraft. Depending on the state or country that you're in, it could be called witchcraft, it could be called voodoo, it could be called brujerías. It just depends. It all comes from the same root word, no pun intended, because roots are a part of it. And so the root word itself, all of them stem from witchcraft. And the book of Isaiah warns us against that. And I'm telling you now that I don't know him, I don't know those women, and therefore whatever I saw was a warning. And not only was it a warning, but it was God bringing to light what is being done in the darkness. And that is the only way that you can fight this spiritual battle, is by knowing what is being done in the darkness. And so that leads me to believe that that had to have been God that showed me that. You didn't even know that I knew about anything. And I don't, but God does.
See, God knows everything, and you see how He reveals, and you see how He confirms. You see that? And I didn't tell Lisa nothing about any details on the situation. I didn't put any words in her mouth. That's what she saw. And like I said, she's told me things about my own life that I did not tell her, and I did not tell anyone. You know, so I know she has the gift. And I know she does because the Lord already showed me what they have been doing. He didn't tell me the detail about the doll. See, God brings it to fulfillment. He brings it to fullness. When you don't know something, He'll bring it into more and more clarity. So this is why I said pray for Wayne. Because, like she said, these things happen because people aren't interceding. And people need to intercede and pray against it because it's real. And just so you know, as the word says, the Bible says, in the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses, let every word be established. Let every word be established. So I wanted her to come on here and tell you what she saw. And to let you know it's real. They are doing this. His mother, you know, the older woman is his mother. And the younger woman is Toya. And his mother is doing this with a doll to control him. So when you guys see him saying things and doing things, you say, oh, he's doing this out of love, or he's doing this to show his love, when it don't make any sense. So you see him fighting it when they made him do that marriage with Toya through roots, and then he jumped out of it. And then you see him fighting it when he puts on the shirt future ex-husband, and you see him saying things in interviews like, my mother pressured me to do this. He's already said that, and it's committed to print. But you see this back and forth warring and fighting because Wayne wants to do God's will, and yet his mother and Toya are using the roots and the witchcraft to come against God's will. So it's this constant struggle. So that's what I mean when, you know, people say, well, you know, it looked like Wayne is confirming Toya and he's doing these things, and all of that is being controlled. That's being controlled through witchcraft. Wayne has a desire to do God's will. God's will is me and him. But they steadily working witchcraft, and she had to go. But she told me, and I'll bring her on later on. She told me that they do these things daily. They are daily trying to reinforce the control over Wayne by using these methods every day to steal what God ordained for me. And this is part of it. So this is why people have been deceived. When you see him in pictures with Toya, you don't understand that it's not even his free will that was doing it. See, all of that was able to happen the times that he was supposed to be with me. You see what I'm saying? And then there were times he wasn't with her at all times. He was on tour, he was doing this, he was doing that. They had no relationship. But there were times that they actually stole that belonged to me. And the reason, and this is in the past, years ago. You understand? Me and Weezy have been going on since 2001. So it's been over 10 years. But years in the past, at times they've been able to steal things that be time with my husband that belonged to me. And the reason how they were able to do that is because I had no knowledge of this witchcraft back then. So as long as you don't know, as I keep repeating, as long as you don't know something, even when you're in the Lord, if you don't know it, it can have an effect. Just like God said, my people perish for lack of knowledge. My people perish because of what they don't know. So when I didn't know, they were able to do these things and they were having some quote unquote success, all because I wasn't aware of it. And they knew I wasn't aware of it. So that's when you see pictures of Toya and Wayne. Look at these pictures I'm putting up right now. You see these pictures? These are pictures of moments they stole using witchcraft on him to control him. So they've been using witchcraft all these 10 years. Believe it or not, y'all. They started doing it when I came to New Orleans in 2001 because they saw he loved me and they saw that it was real. It wasn't passing. It's not a week or 2 weeks. This is forever. This is your forever love, your one true soulmate that God gives you. So they saw the love that he had for me. So they go to doing these things and they're doing them behind my back. You see what I'm saying? They know I'm not aware of it. They're doing it at their homes. I'm not there. You dig what I'm saying? And so they're causing these things to happen. So if you even look at pictures of Wayne's face, at times when he's taking these pictures with Toya, it's something there that is distorted. If you really, really look, because look at this picture of Weezy right here. Look at his eyes. Do you see the peace and the joy? We had spoken this day. When he was, when the love is there and was there, untampered with before they started working the roots and before they started trying to make him walk in a wrong path, you see his face is peaceful. His face is full of love. And then as time goes on and you start looking at the pictures where they actually stole time that belongs to me using black magic on him, because see, he's not protecting himself from it because he doesn't even know it's being used on him. And I didn't know at the time that it was being used on him, so there was no protection. You see, so me and him, we're having fights, we're having arguments. We know we love each other madly and we know we're supposed to be together. And yet all of these arguments and all of this weird, strange stuff where our paths were having problems crossing and all of that was a part of the witchcraft. All of that was a part of their working roots all these years. All this unbeknownst to Wayne. And so let me tell you something. When roots are being worked on you to control your behavior, you might feel a little strange. There will be confusion where you know something is not quite right, but at the same time you have your everyday business to take care of. And if you're not trained in how to fight it or cleanse yourself from it, you know, it will have its effects on you. And there's so many people who are actually living lives that are controlled by other people. And so this is what they attempted to do. Now, the reason why Toya and Jacita keep going on and on with this is because all of the years, on and off, they've had some quote-unquote success. They never had no success straight through. In other words, anytime they kept trying to make Wayne do something, he'd jump out of it because it wasn't God's will and it wasn't his free will. They were just trying to control him. So when they tried to make him get married, he jumped out of it. You see, he didn't tell anybody about it. And he put on that T-shirt to show the world he didn't want to be in it. And he divorced her. And then he got in interviews and said his mama pressured him to do it. And then they keep jumping back. Here come Toya. Years later, jumping in there, you dig what I'm saying, by herself, going to sister in 2009. And telling them, showing them wedding pictures. You see what I'm saying? saying that I'm Mrs. Carter, still trying to have a place that was never hers. It wasn't hers the first time around because she made that wedding happen using black magic and roots to control Wayne. You dig? So her, Toya, Jacita, them two working in cahoots together because Jacita wanted him to be with Toya. You see, because that's her brainchild, that's her plan that she put out there when she abused her 15-year-old son and made him have a child at 15. That's the girl who happened to be the one to have the child. You see what I'm saying? So now Jacita feels protective over her situation that she made happen, and they keep still trying to make it happen, even though all the son, they already know that I'm his true love. See, the public did not know. Jacita and Toya been knew since 2001 that our love was real and that I am the real one for him. Now let me show you this interview, and I'm going to explain something to you. Toya did an interview with Sister to Sister magazine when she debuted using my identity. She's debuting as Mrs. Carter, a wedding that she made happen herself using roots and black magic. It wasn't a real wedding. It was something that was caused by roots. You see, it causes things to happen. At any rate, she took a picture of that event and so shopped that event to people who did not know that that was not real. But it looks and appears real. That's what I'm saying. It's an appearance. What she does is she's trying to appear to be the legitimate one. I am the legitimate one. I have the true authority. She wants my authority. She can never have it. She can't have it, but as long as she can trick people's mind into thinking she has it, into thinking she's the real Mrs. Carter, then y'all treating her like Mrs. Carter. You see what I'm saying? And then you're reinforcing her fantasy. So it's like a codependent relationship at that point. The only thing is, y'all don't know that you're doing it. Y'all didn't know that wedding was fake. Y'all didn't know that wedding was brought about by black magic. Y'all didn't know that wedding was brought about by Wayne's mama and Toya working roots on him to cause him to propose to Toya, not under his free will, but under controlling roots. Did you hear what Lisa said? They had this doll face down in a position. That doll represents Wayne to control him and to keep him under his mama's thumb. You wouldn't, it's unfathomable to think that a woman would do this to her grown son, all so that he can front to the world a broad as his first wife. You see what I'm saying? They couldn't have the marriage, so now, okay, we see we can't have Wayne. And even that they still try to challenge sometimes. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this bitch's place and we're going to front like I'm his first wife, and then we're going to demolish his life. In other words, his own mother, used roots to try to get him with Toya. That did not work. Okay? So now that they see that did not work and it's not going to work, well, we'll just take her identity as the first Mrs. Carter. You see what I'm saying? And then mess up their relationship with these roots that we use. And then have him all out there with different broads so that it can hurt me, Angela, so it can hurt me, his real wife. And then we'll mess up her life like that because we're so hateful and we're so jealous that, well, we couldn't steal him from her and mess her life up like that. So we'll just steal the identity and then have him out there with other broads and mess up her life like that, as long as her life is quote-unquote messed up. This is what they do, or try to do, which ain't gonna work. You see what I'm saying? But this is how evil they are. You would not think that Wayne is damn near almost 30 years old. He's going in his late 20s, and his mama has a doll on him right now, and Ben had a doll on him, a doll to control him. Dolls are commonly used in New Orleans. Different areas of witchcraft have different things that they use. Some people are more inclined toward this thing. Some people are more inclined toward that thing, and they're inclined toward dolls. That's why she has a doll on him, to keep him under subjection. He has no knowledge of this. This is happening now. Happening now. It's March 23rd, 2011. It's happening now, and it's been happening, y'all, for the last 10 years. So everything that you've seen Weezy do that seem to acknowledge Toya, it's all their controlling roots to control his behavior against God's real will for his life. That's why when you hear tapes of Wayne, then I have you hear him telling his friends, he loves me. He wants to be with me. He's in love with me. You see what I'm saying? But they know that. They just knew it wasn't public. So what they're going to do in the dark, they're going to start using their roots and witchcraft on him so that they can change that, so that then they can put that out there in the public like Toya is me, and so that they can steal my place. And then Toya will be like, well, I'm going to put Reginae. See, that's supposed to be one of the magic keys. I'm going to put his daughter out there. Now he's not going to out me, or he's not going to tell me anything, because I can use my daughter that he loves, and I'll use her as a weapon and as a tool. I'm overstepping my boundaries, but he ain't really going to check me, because his daughter's going to be like, look, Daddy, I'm on TV, and don't I look cute, and da-da-da-da. You see what I'm saying? So every little thing they're trying to use to steal a life that never was theirs. Toya is no one but a broad who was not even chosen, but after Wayne asked other broad, when his mama made him have a baby at 15 and abused him, and he asked other broads, she's just the broad that just was thrown out there as a candidate after he couldn't find nobody. You see what I'm saying? To have a child with. There was no relationship. It never was none. It was no high school romance. That was all fabricated later to cover up his mother's abuse. The whole thing is a fraud from day one. It's not real. It's not legitimate. But as long as you can't see me, and as long as y'all didn't know about these roots that they were doing, then it'll appear as real. It will appear as real. You see? And so if it appears as real, it's a mirage, but y'all don't know, the public didn't know the truth. So she's putting these lies out there. So y'all say, see, this is what's so beneath the surface is y'all say, well, look, if this is the average situation, because there are broads out there who want to be with a man, and that man don't want them, and that man is with another woman, and they say, well, look, he's with another woman. Wake up. You dig what I'm saying? But that's not the situation here. See, the Lord is not going to, number one, have me leave and forfeit the life that he ordained for me, specifically for me, that has my name on it. He's not going to do that. He's not going to do that. He ordained this life for me. I'm not going no goddamn where. This is my husband. This is my husband. He was my husband in 2001. He was my husband. He's my husband now. This is something that they don't want to accept. They're stuck on stupid. No matter how the Lord showed them, he's not your husband. They're determined. To this day, well, we're going to make him. See, they keep trying to break him down and break him down and break him down. You dig what I'm saying? We're going to make him acknowledge you as his first wife. And then we're going to come out. We're going to put pressure. We're going to come out there. And we're going to go out to the media. Now, if a whole lot of people out in the public believe in this and they don't know no other, then they're going to be like, oh, yeah, Wayne, we saw your wife on TV. And that's going to reinforce all of the lies. You see what I'm saying? The whole thing is a lie. So they thought they would never get exposed, because up until I started speaking, they never were exposed. You see, I did not know. Most of what they did, they would not have been able to do had I known. But see, God kept me from knowing for a reason. He wanted all this to happen. He wanted them to get to the public and on TV. He allowed all that so that when I come out speaking about it, now it's on a scale where God can really teach people things. Because if I was telling you this about Toya and she never came out to the public, you wouldn't even know who I'm talking about. So now God is using this whole thing as a teaching lesson on what not to do. So as far as his mother doing this to her own son, I mean, think about that. That sounds utterly unbelievable. If God didn't show me already and been showing me for years now, and then confirming it now with other people, and it's just getting more and more confirmation, it's hard to believe that someone will be that wicked and that evil. And you say, well, what's the point of her doing that? Also, she can make it seem like he's with her. Well, there's more motivation to do it now than ever. Because all these years I wasn't saying nothing because I didn't know. But now, how you see how I speak about her? Like a damn dog with no respect. So now she got more motivation than ever to try to do this. You dig what I'm saying? But she didn't need no motivation. Because when I didn't do anything to her, I didn't even know about what she was doing. She was still doing it. But she been doing evil before. Jacita been doing evil in Wayne's life. Been doing evil before I even came to New Orleans in 2001. So when Wayne is in interviews saying things like, if you understand me, you know more about me than I do because I don't understand myself. See, all that confusion, that's what it is. It's those roots that his own mother is putting on him. All the confusion throughout the years. When you see, you look at certain pictures of Wayne and you say, there's just something wrong there. There's something wrong. His face looks, there's some kind of pain. And there's something going on. And if you think about it, think about people his age. And even in the industry, even high up in the industry. They're not having all that pain and all that confusion. Where is that pain coming from? It's coming from the fact that he's supposed to be in God's will for his life, which is me and him, which is our relationship. Has nothing to do with his career or nothing. Has everything to do with his love life. His love is me. God's will for his life and my life is one another. It's us. You see what I'm saying? That's God's will. So he's already tasted God's will. He's already been in God's will. He's already participated. That's why he was so happy. That's why when you hear him on tape, he's singing, "You're the one for you to have, my son." He's going around, he's happy, he's joyful, and all of that. All of that is a sign. That's God. You see what I'm saying? That's God's will. And it was on a level that they know he had never, his friends, family, whoever, knew that he had never experienced before ever. Because Wayne had a lot of bras before I came to New Orleans. But they knew that this was something special. They knew that this was something different. And he's singing and he's telling his friends he's in love with me and he's wanting to get married and all of this. And all of this is on tape. And they hated it. His mama hated it and couldn't stand it because all she ever did to him was abuse him, leave him neglected, get him shot, tell him he ain't going nowhere with his rapping. You dig? And so now he finally gets real love and she tries to kill it. She tries to kill it. Kill his joy. Kill his love. All unbeknownst to him while she takes pictures with him smiling in the dark working black magic roots to control him against our relationship because she's hateful. She's jealous. And I'm not Toya. You dig? She's jealous. His mother is jealous of the love he has for me. So she wants to kill me. She didn't even know nothing about me. She had never even met me. And she's already working roots. You dig? To try to kill me and to destroy our love. Totally disrespected his feelings, his mind, his soul. And I can point to the pictures to the day. You'll see, he starts to fall. You'll see the pain, and he starts rapping about pain and the suffering and the sorrow that's in his soul because he had tasted God's will for his life and was on the right path, and she worked roots on him to get him off of the right path, off of God's path and plan for our love, onto a path that led nowhere but to pain and to sorrow and to destruction, and she forces him on that path using black magic roots, controlling roots in witchcraft. I lied to you not. She's doing this shit. And he had no knowledge of it, but always in interviews saying, "I'm in pain, I'm in pain, I'm in pain." You can see the pain in his face. And they don't care. They do not care. They see him on the wrong road. He's on the right road with me. His mother tries to force him with Toya, tries to force him into that marriage. It didn't work. Does she still say, "Okay, let them alone now. I can see my shit didn't work"? No, she still to this day. That was, how long ago was that? In 2004. It's 2011. It's 6 years later. And did you hear what my friend Lisa said? She has a doll on him to control him right now. 6 years. They've been doing this all it will all fall into place. His pain, his suffering, the timing of it, all of it. This woman, his mother is evil, so he's on the right path with me. Oh 01, oh 02, oh 03. Then 04, all kind of hell starts breaking out in my life, and I don't know why. From left and right, and all of a sudden he proposes to Toya out of the blue. That was the black magic roots. His soul fought it. He put on a t-shirt that said future ex-husband. He left that, and they still try to come back. We're still going to claim that spot. They're trying to keep me from my own life. They can't do it. See, now I'm in the knowledge of it, and I'm revealing it to you, and Wayne is coming into the knowledge of what they've been doing. But it's so foul, it's unbelievable. But when I look back, I sit here and I look at everything Jacita has done to Wayne. All that I know of, just what I know of, and I see is so horrifically tragic. It goes in line with her abuse. Her years of abuse. And I often wonder if Rabbit didn't die because of her. If somehow either she set him up, which would not be beneath her, if there was some kind of insurance money or whatever, or if not that, perhaps not, but if not that, she's a curse to people's lives, and they can't see what it is, and you fuck with her and you end up fucked up. She leads to nothing good, and you have to watch her for a while to see that. And if she's in the dark, if she's not being seen publicly, which she loved to not be seen because she wanted, that's what Satan loves to do, is do his evil in the dark so that you cannot detect him, so that you cannot see him. So as long as she's unseen, she can control people. This is what she does. You dig? Try to control people, but mainly her son. It's a way of her receiving power and feeling important and feeling like she's doing something and controlling him. You dig what I'm saying? He was never there for her to love before he became famous. She just left him with her mama and forgot about him. That's why Wayne said it in that interview. She left me and forgot she even had a son. See, Wayne doesn't listen to himself. If you listen to yourself over time, you'll hear your spirit saying things. You'll hear it coming out, but your mind is not even really aware of what you're saying. It's your spirit crying out and saying, look, you did this to me. I know that you did this to me, and I feel the pain. You did. She's been abusive on him. Up until it's 2011. Wayne is 28. Will be 29. You dig? She's doing this evil all this time because she is evil. They didn't care about him. He was just there to be used. He put her in the house. How did she repay him? By trying to kill his joy, by trying to kill his true love and get him out of the plans of God for his life onto a wrong path that led nowhere. People are criticizing him. That's why he has that tattoo that says misunderstood on his face, because he is misunderstood. Because what y'all didn't understand is his mama is controlling his behavior to do wrong against our union. She can't do it now because I'm aware now. But for all these years, I wasn't aware, so she was doing it and seemed to be able to get away with it. So people criticize Wayne, say, oh, he's like a human dandelion. He just produces all these babies and baby mamas, and he has no respect. And that's his mother trying to tear up his life. You could never, ever guess this in a million years, and she knew you couldn't see her. She knew you couldn't see her, so it don't matter if Wayne gets the blame for behavior he can't control because she's behind closed doors controlling his behavior with black magic. She don't care if Wayne gets the criticism and he's misunderstood. She's not going to come forth and say, hey, look, I've been doing this to my son. You dig what I'm saying? A lot of his behavior is because of me and my interference. No, she gonna let him take the blame for everything and then not even understand what's going on in his life emotionally and psychologically and just be in the dark about it. You think she gives no fuck? She'll go on and then dress up and then try to get on TV and have a TV show and try to give advice to people. This bitch is so fucking evil, you can't see it. This is why people couldn't see it. It's an evil that's very, very low. You wouldn't imagine people would do this to their children. You think evil gotta look a certain way. Look at Casey Anthony. She looks like the average white teenager. You dig? You wouldn't think that she would break her daughter's neck and murder her. You dig? That's what evil is. It doesn't appear as evil. It doesn't look evil. The devil clothed himself up as an angel of light specifically to confuse you, specifically so that you don't see him for what he is. If he came looking evil, you wouldn't detect it. So she slithers in and slides in and looks normal. She tried to get on TV and have a TV show after doing all these atrocities. You don't see the shit that she does to people's lives. She put their lives in confusion and turmoil. And you don't even fucking see what it is. People are walking around confused because of this bitch. Because she put Wayne on the wrong path. Trying to get him away from me. So jealous of her love because she didn't love him. See, I love Wayne. They knew that. His soul responded to that love and they were jealous. They couldn't give him the love that I could give him. So they just want him to be abused and neglected. So when I came into Wayne's life, I brought him love. Real love. The love from God. A pure love. The love that only his God-ordained wife could give. You dig? And they was hateful. They didn't want him to receive love. They wanted him to receive abuse and to control him and to manipulate him and to use him. And that's what they're doing to this day. And then smile and standing next to him taking pictures. And he don't know he's taking pictures with his fucking enemies who tried to fuck over his life and are the reason for so much of his confusion. And he can't even make the connection. Because you know what? When they work roots on you, they'll do things to make you not aware. There's confusion roots. There's a whole line of products just to confuse you. To keep your mind unaware. To keep the truth beneath the surface. To keep you unconscious to the truth. You can still function. Excuse me. You can still function. You can still work. They're going to allow him to be able to work because they want to make money off of him. You dig what I'm saying? But him being aware of what they're actually doing in the dark, they got to keep his consciousness, his awareness of what they're doing under the surface. So it's a conspiracy. It takes more than one person. He's constantly being watched to see what is he aware of, what does he think, where is he going, what is he doing. It's to control this nucleus of power so that they can feel powerful. They use him and abuse him. And then they know Wayne needs, his mama knows he needs her love. So she uses that because Wayne's biological father wasn't there. All he had was his mom. You dig? So she uses that as a position of power because she says, my son needs the love that I give him so I can use this as a position of power, not to love him, but to control him. You see, he's going to be apt to want to defend me because I give him a little bit of love. You dig? I give him a little bit of love and he needs it so bad he'll let me do certain things. But Wayne is unconscious and did not know that she is working roots on him in the dark. He has to come into light. It's like the dawn. It dawns on you. The truth most times don't explode all at once. This is why I say people pray for him. Pray. Pray that the evil be broken. Pray that the truth, God's truth, will come out. Pray that God's will be done. Pray that the evil control that his mother tried to exercise over him be broken. And Toya. And all their lies and all their schemes. They deceived mass amounts of people. They're trying to rob an innocent Christian woman of her life, her title, her name, her children, her future, her love, God's will, God's plans, her grandchildren, and everything else. They want to rob it and steal it from me. That's what they've been trying these last 10 years because they know Wayne belongs with me. They know it. And let me tell you something on that sister-to-sister interview where she's sitting down with Jamie. I'll play some of it right now. She is trying to explain how did Weezy all of a sudden propose to her in 2004. Because everybody know that there was something wrong with that. There was something unusual. Yeah, that was brought about through roots. not through Wayne's free will. That's why I don't acknowledge it. That's why I will never call her Mrs. Carter. That's why she never is Mrs. Carter. It's a phony name. You dig? It's not her real name. She calls that by working on his free will to propose to her against his own free will. And he did not even know it. But she's telling Jamie how he all of a sudden out the blue in 2004 proposed to her. And she goes back to 1998, 99 and says on that first Mother's Day he was going to do it, or he wanted to do it. But now, 6 years later, miraculously, out of the blue, let's do this, let's make it real. See, the reason why she said, first of all, it's a lie. He did not want to propose to her on that first Mother's Day. You say, how you know? You wasn't there. I know because Wayne already told me he didn't want to be with her. But, and I got that on tape, and if you listen to the tapes, you will hear that. But he says it in a song, I ducked my baby mama. That's from Lights Out. That was released in the year 2000. That was written in 99. He telling you he ducking her. You don't see her in no pictures with him publicly. You see the baby, but you don't see her. He didn't want to be with her. He didn't want to marry her that first Mother's Day. It's not even logical that a 16-year-old boy wants to get married to a broad he did not pick out. He did not even, it wasn't even his idea to have a child with her. That's his mama's plan. The whole thing was his mama. That's why his mama keep trying to enforce it to this day. He didn't do none of that. That was all done against him as a 15-year-old minor. That's child abuse. To make your 15-year-old minor have a child, that is abuse. So he didn't even choose her. He didn't plan to have no child. None of that was his idea. And all of a sudden he wants to marry you? That's a lie. But the reason why she told that lie to Jamie and sister to sister is because she had to come up for a reason why all of a sudden out of the blue in 2004, so you don't realize and suspect witchcraft, because that's what it was in 2004, what made him propose. So you don't realize that she has to say, oh, well, he wanted to propose to me on that first Mother's Day. But now, 6 years later, let's do this. You see? She's a liar. In those 6 years, what do you hear? Listen to my blog on MySpace. You hear Wayne loving me. He's in love with me. He was going to propose to me. They tried to rob that with witchcraft. And that's a very possible thing. If the person you're trying to rob is unaware, which I was, unaware of what you're doing. It can be done. It was done, but Wayne kept fighting it because it wasn't real. You see, it's not a real reality. So little by little, what they're trying to do is, well, let me stick to this. So in 2004, so that's how she explained him proposing to her in 2004. You see, because it would look too weird for him to just all of a sudden do this, and he's in love with me, he's in love with me, even though that wasn't publicly known. You see what I'm saying? So what they're trying to do is rob a life little by little, step upon step, interview upon interview, picture upon picture. So Wayne has to see his daughter when he visits his daughter. You see, when there's a birthday or an event or whatever, and Toya takes a picture with Wayne, and then she collects all the pictures and over all the years and say, here, look, we have a relationship. This proves it. You see, all deceptive, all lying to you. This is why when you hear my tapes, it tells you the true story. It tells you the real story. It explains all of the confusion. You see, they don't want you to hear my tapes. They don't want you to listen to me. They want to be able to perpetuate their lies in the media and keep telling them with pictures. They want you to misconstrue things. So with Tiny, like on the show, T.I. bought Tiny a car. Okay? Years ago, Wayne bought Toya a car. He wasn't with her, but she had his child, even though that wasn't his idea and he wasn't the author of that. His mother was. He still had lots of money. It was nothing to him. So don't misconstrue, oh, she has this car and he bought that and they were in love. No. He had so much money to blow, he could have bought 5 of them and he wouldn't have felt it. You see what I'm saying? But she not gonna tell you that. So what she gonna do is Tiny gonna show her car, and then Toya gonna show her car, and then you gonna construe that Wayne was in love with Toya, and see they both had these. Tiny had this relationship, and Toya had. It wasn't like that. But Toya know you'll think that because you don't really sit down and think about this, and so she'll let you. She'll play with your mind like that. Lead you to believe lies. You see, intentionally, little by little, with each little thing, trying to rob a place that's not hers, trying to rob a title that's not hers. You see, the world couldn't figure this out, and she knew it. She knew it. This is how deeply people have been deceived. They're calling her Toya Carter. She was never Toya Carter. That wasn't real. You see? She's only ever been Toya Johnson, con artist, deceiver, with the help of Wayne's mama working roots and black magic in the dark. And then Wayne's mama works in the background in the dark, using this witchcraft to control Wayne. And then Toya works the side of the public, and she's going to get out there and look as good as she can and say, hey, look, I'm Mrs. Carter, and keep fronting these pictures, and then there'll be an event or Thanksgiving or whatever, and because Jacita is inclined toward Toya, because that was all Jacita's plan from the beginning of Wayne having a baby at 15. So Jacita's going to be inviting Toya over. They're going to take pictures together. They're going to look like one big happy family, and y'all will be none the wiser. This is why I am the thorn in their ass, because I can explain all of this to the public where they can understand it. And I will continue to explain, because this is my identity they fucked with. I am the real Mrs. Carter. I am Wayne's real wife. She doesn't have the authority. All she has is the ability to get out there and pretend and fake and front pictures and mislead people into believing something that's not true, so that she can ride in a limousine and you can see her. He's the only one she wifed, when in reality, she's the only one he never chose from day one. His mama made him have a baby at 15 with anybody, and Toya never even came to Wayne's mind. His mama, after he asked other girls, had to say, well, what about Toya? Don't you like her? All right, I like her then. That's the beginning of her. So she was nobody in his life from the beginning. She came from a brainless plan from Jacita's mind for Jacita to continue to abuse her 15-year-old son, because Jacita been abusing him. She been abusing Wayne. She didn't start that day. That's a bold thing to make your 15-year-old have a child. She didn't just start it that day. She warmed up with many other abuses. You see what I'm saying? She's been abusive. Wayne been abused so long by her, he don't know what it is to have a real mama. You dig what I'm saying? He doesn't know what that is. Some kids don't know what that is, and the abuse, they keep receiving abuse, and they think it's love. And then that sets up your child to go out in the world and to go through all kind of hell that they ain't never supposed to go through, because they've always been abused. You see what I'm saying? That's why God sent me and made me the way he made me as Wayne's wife, to protect him, to love him. You see what I'm saying? Jacita thought I was going to just be like, I'm not going through all this. Oh, well, I guess he don't love me. You dig? And she wanted me to argue with Wayne. And she don't care if Wayne takes the blame. In other words, Jacita is controlling Wayne through roots and through witchcraft. So if I'm looking at Wayne thinking that Wayne is doing certain things, and I'm getting mad and cussing, you dig what I'm saying? And he's catching hell from me because of something that he's doing, but he has no control over, because she's controlling him with these roots in the background. You dig? Like a puppet. She don't care if he takes the blame. This is how evil she is. He does all, even the media be out there, oh, you ain't no good. You have all these babies and all these baby mamas and all that. And that's Jacita's direct work. I'm not saying I was going to say, I'm not saying she made him get in the bed with nobody, but you know what? When he already found the plan of God for his life and on the right path, and you work and work and work through roots and through pressure and through using his child and doing all these things to get him on the wrong path. Yes, anything that happens on that wrong path is your fault. She been started this abuse when he was a And then he catches hell. He catches hell from all sides. He catches hell from the media. He catches hell from religious people. He catches hell and they don't know that his own mother, is doing this to him, controlling him against God's plans for his life. Don't you see why I say God is going to annihilate this bitch and send her back to Satan where she came from? All these years, she's trying to control him against what God wants, what God planned, what God started. It makes me sick to my stomach to think that somebody who would be someone's mother, let alone my own husband's mother, would do this to him. And for years, with no regret, with no remorse, with no repentance, with no nothing, will watch the media throw rocks at him, watch him hurt, watch him be in pain, and never come forward and say, look, I'm behind all this. He was on the right path in 2001. He was happy. He was in God's will. He found the true love, a good woman for him, and I got him on the wrong path by force and coercion and black magic and using his child. And from then on, he was lost. He had all these babies. He's looking for love, and he already had it. I am responsible. No, she'll let him go down the wrong path and die on that path and get all kind of hell, catch all kind of hell from all kind of people who don't understand this bitch was behind the scenes to control him and get him on the wrong path. And she thought I would just leave. You dig? I knew something wasn't right. I knew it was more than Wayne was just being an asshole. He was just another cheating nigga. I knew it was more than that. I knew it was something else. The Holy Spirit kept saying, sit down. I'm going to show you. Sit down. Wait. Don't leave. There's something more. This is it. She cares more about her selfish will and her desires and the feeling of power and control and authority than she does about her son's emotions, feelings, mental health, well-being, peace of mind. She'll watch him get on drugs, abuse him. I'm not saying Wayne did not dabble with drugs when he was younger. He didn't try them recreationally like a lot of people. I'm talking about when you start becoming dependent because you're trying to relieve pain, and she knows the difference. They knew the difference. They knew why his soul was in pain, because it was separated from me, and they could watch him deteriorate, wither, and die. And they won't even do anything to correct it or have any remorse or say, we did this, we have a hand in this. But God knows they have a hand in it. That's why God sent me. That's why he made me the way he made me. Because as I told you in those previous videos, when I show up, it's a wrap. Your ass is going down. If you've been doing evil, you're going down. If you've been fucking with my life, you are going down. He always sends me as the last thing. There is no chance after me. I represent judgment. There ain't none. If I show up, he done gave you grace for years already to get your shit together. I do not represent grace. I represent execution. It's no chance once I show up. It's a wrap. That means God has been working so long with you, giving you so much grace, and you have just kept doing your evil and doing your evil that he sent me now. I've seen this pattern in my life over and over again. I've seen people destroy themselves trying to destroy me. I want y'all to know all the pictures you've seen of Toya and Wayne were a hoax, that I'm his true love and been that. They wanted to bury me, bury my voice, bury the truth, but God's truth won't be buried. That's why God has all these tapes and blessed me to have all these tapes, because this is a way to establish the truth. This is why they're so angry I have these tapes, because it shows their lies and deceptions. Don't you know motherfuckers try to bury me? They try to kill me. They try to kill our love. They try to kill it. They try to keep you from seeing my face, hearing my voice, knowing the truth, knowing who Wayne's real wife is, kill his feelings, his joy, his peace, because they were hateful and full of evil. That is truly the spirit of murder. Murder goes beyond physical. It goes beyond physically shooting or stabbing or killing someone. They try to murder his joy, murder our love, murder my presence, murder God's voice, murder God's will, murder God's plans, murder his real wife, murder what makes him happy, and then smile in his face because he can't detect that they're doing it behind closed doors. So they can come out smelling like a rose, like they ain't did nothing. Hold up a t-shirt that says world's best father next to him and just smile. He ain't gonna know because we put this black magic on him and kept his awareness from knowing and work confusion on him. So he can just tumble through life, grabbing a bottle, grabbing some lean, grabbing some drug. All on the wrong path. Sin against God's plan and be sad. And they don't give a fuck. They want to have a purse and a dress and pose and be on TV, and they give no fuck about him. And because Wayne's been abused so long, you dig? He doesn't really understand when he's being abused. He don't understand what a real friend is. He can't see it. They smile and pretend they're his friends and totally disrespect his life. Disrespected his love, his feelings, even his free will, his ability. God gives every man free will. And they want to control his will to their specific purposes because they're hateful and they don't want him to be with his real wife. They hate me because they can't be me. So she hates me. She can never be his true love, Toya can never be his true love, so she hates me. Nobody made Toya have that baby at 14. The other girls who were 14 said no, she could have. You have to think before you do things. And so when you don't have the true love, then when his real love comes, you're just going to try to kill her, huh? You're just going to try to kill her. And his mother is sick. It's truly sick and evil. You're going to try to kill the woman your son loves, huh? Because you couldn't be a real woman and inspire that love. You couldn't be a real woman. You had to abuse him. He gets real love and he gets real joy. Kill it! And Wayne is steadily trying to cover up his mother's abuse in the media. Oh, that's not nothing. Oh, that ain't nothing. Oh, she just shot me. She just left me. But he's still saying it, though. Years later, after the incident, he is still creeping out of his soul because that pain is really real. You can see it in his face. It's a real pain. The majority of that pain is him being separated from me. Him being separated from God's will. See, people who have I believe most of the majority of people on earth have not found God's will for their life. But when you find your one true love, it'll put every other relationship you ever had into perspective. The other relationships will look like nothing. I don't care if you thought you was madly in love. Those other relationships will look like nothing compared to God's will. God's will is so great. It can't even be described. You dig? We experienced that when we found one another. I come from an abusive home. You dig? So I know what I'm talking about. Me and Wayne have so much in common. We found one another. We found true love, a solace in one another when we have been through so much abuse and they try to kill it. Then get on TV, unbeknownst to the world, in front like she's me. And they've been trying to kill the truth this whole time, controlling Wayne. And Wayne was confused about where his pain came from. He don't want to believe this. Who does? But it's the truth. And I'm not into not acknowledging things and living in denial and living in deception. because it's more comfortable, or the dealing with real things is painful. I need to deal with the truth. I need to see the truth and know the truth no matter how painful it is. I've always been that way. I can't live in denial. Wayne likes to pretend like nothing is happening. He does it a lot when he doesn't want to confront certain things and it's uncomfortable because he hasn't been empowered to confront certain things. His mother empowered him. She didn't empower him. She killed his voice. So in some ways he felt powerless. You dig? When he wanted to rap, you ain't going nowhere with that. Put your tablet down. I'm in love with Angela. Kill it. I don't want to hear that. So he hasn't been empowered by her. You dig? He's been disrespected. His feelings were told they don't mean nothing. How he feels don't mean nothing. Grin and bear it. Just smile and take pictures. And all the while his soul is hurting from this abuse, y'all. This woman ain't been nothing but a monster in his life, boo. And Bingo used to tell me about some bitches down there. You dig? And I was like, no, it's not that evil. They are not that evil. Yes. 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 No feeling, no compassion, no nothing will watch you wither and die and claim to love you and smile. Boo, it's an evil. That's why so many people couldn't see it. The whole problem has always been his mama. Toya came on with her evil later, but she only came on through his mama. His mama is the one who's been doing the abuse. As I live, mark my words, that those things that come from her mind, those evil things, they're going nowhere. It's a road to nowhere. That's why Wayne, it seems like he's so lost. Is he supposed to be with her? Is he supposed to be with Nivio? Now he's over here. He's with this one and that one. And it seems like so much lost and confusion. Because once you get off the plan of God, there is only confusion. He already had, see what I'm saying? How many rap artists, how many secular industry people, but particularly in the rap industry, find their true love? You dig what I'm saying? And find God's will for their life. The true love that everybody is looking for, but few people find. You dig? And you have your son now. You know, your son is a rapper. You know it comes with that lifestyle, all kind of groupies, all kind of bitches coming out of the woodwork. You dig? And your son is in love and wants to be with a Christian woman and only one woman. And you put roots on him to get him off the right path onto a road of confusion. Trying to make him be with Toya, he didn't want that. Led him down the road of confusion when he was already on the right road. And every time he tries to make his way back to the right road, they work roots on him to stop him. You dig? Without him even knowing that they're doing it. And they will look right at him and smile in his face, y'all. And y'all giving them accolades and awards. You're giving awards to his mother, calling her a queen in her community. There's been so much injustice and abuse, boo, and wrong. Y'all couldn't see. And they will sit there and take the award, y'all, and pose. And I feel so bad for Wayne, boo. Because it's like he had no one who loved him. If your father ain't there, you need to hold on to one parent. And he thought he could hold on to his mama, like he said, and fuck the world. All I got is Miss Sita and Ciamara. He didn't even have Miss Sita, boo, because she was abusive. See, when Squad Up said, that's his old group, Wayne's old group, they said in the song, Wayne cried because his mama gave him a birthday present. See, what they didn't understand is she's so callous and so cold and so distant and so abusive. If she showed any kind of kindness, it broke him down to tears because he wasn't used to being shown any kind of kindness from her. She did that when I came into his life, you see, because she saw the love I was inspiring in him, and she was jealous. But when she gave him that present, he broke down and cried. Don't that seem unusual? It's a birthday present. It's your mother. Happens every year, right? But they didn't understand. She ain't shown him no kindness and no love. See, there are signs all along the road to point you to the truth that will let you know what I'm telling you is real. Though they try to hide it, you dig? And though Wayne tries to make you think it's no big deal, it is. You want to know something? I believe this woman put roots on Wayne's biological father to keep him out of Wayne's life because she only wants that position of power. And if that man did anything to hurt her, he ain't going to be in Wayne's life. So she'll put roots on him to keep him out of Wayne's life while Wayne's steadily wondering why his father didn't want nothing to do with him. She'll let her own son believe his father don't want nothing to do with him, when in fact she's the one who put roots on his father to keep him out of Wayne's life. I believe that because I know how evil she is. She put roots on me to keep me out of Wayne's life, and I'm his wife. That's not beneath her, y'all. Nothing is beneath her. And so she'll watch her son cry and need a father, his own biological father, and wonder why he don't want nothing to do with me. And she's the fucking reason, and will never tell him, and will let him believe that man don't want nothing to do with him. I always thought that story was unusual. That man don't want nothing to do with you. That's your biological father. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. I think that bitch has something to do with it. Because she tried to keep me from Wayne. And I'm his wife and he was in love with me. And I did nothing to harm Wayne. I did nothing from day one but pray for him. She will watch him suffer and wonder and know she got the answer and just look at him and do nothing. She's pure evil, y'all. I mean this. I mean it. I mean it. I went to this level of putting all these videos. You think I did all this for nothing? For some fucking attention? What kind of attention is this? Motherfuckers calling me crazy. Who wants this kind of attention? I done put 200 and some odd YouTube videos up, a MySpace page, blog, thousands of words. I'm telling you, it's real. These people want power and control. They don't have no love for Wayne. Wayne don't even know. He didn't even know what it felt to be loved. And when he did know from me, they tried to kill it. And then he has all these feelings inside of blaming himself. He can't do this. He can't do that. As a man, he's supposed to do this. He's supposed to do that. And all the while, it's not even him. It's their black magic roots controlling him. Letting him think, oh, there's something wrong with me. There's nothing wrong. And I would blame Wayne and I would argue and it wasn't even him. The Holy Spirit is showing me now. And God forgive me for things I blame Wayne for that he had no control over because this bitch was working black magic in the dark, making him do certain things. That's why I could never be jealous of Toya. Jealous of what? Number one, the bitch pretending to be me. Lied to the world. Can never be the real Mrs. Carter. Can only try to trick and deceive people into thinking that she is. And then the little bit of love or whatever he was showing was done under the coercion of black magic. Controlling roots. Domination roots. It wasn't even his free will. So how I'm going to be jealous of a nigga doing things and it's not even his free will? They know when he loved me, it was his free will. I didn't put roots. I don't believe in that shit because I'm a Christian woman. I'm not going to try to control him. Either he loves me of his free will or he doesn't love me. And he loved me of his free will. No child. No child, no excuse, no reason. Just pure God love. You dig? And they knew it. I didn't trick them. I didn't set them up. I didn't claim a baby was his that wasn't his. They couldn't find no fault in me. I never fucked them over. They couldn't find nothing wrong with me. That's why they tried to kill me. I'm not one of them. Still trying it. Still fronting. Then and she brought these lies to the TV, to b.e.t, and they gave her a TV show on her deception. That's why when I say they have the shit to pay and they got hell to pay back, they got hell to pay because they deceived and hoodwinked all these people into thinking that she was Mrs. Carter so that she could feel some kind of glory and some kind of self-esteem so she could be look like a star. And she's the one he never chose from day one. You dig? Never. And the things he did as far as with Nivea and other broads, that was all on the wrong road that his mama got him off of. Wayne was settled. He had his love life settled since 2001. All they've been doing is working black magic roots to control him and to force him off of the right path, all unbeknownst to him. You have to pray that Wayne's eyes can see the evil that was done and that he can have the wherewithal to deal with it, because I'm here. I'm his real wife. We will deal with this together because it was done to me. And I didn't even begin to open up the chapter on all the shit that has happened in my life. You dig? But ultimately, the only thing they did was strengthen my relationship with God and let me know that God is with me. And they couldn't kill me, although they tried to. They tried to kill me. They let me know our love is real. That's what they let me know, that God is with me. Pray that evil get out of Wang's life. Stand in agreement with me and pray that all evil be destroyed, because it's truly evil. Truly evil that would try to kill an innocent Christian woman, that would try to kill God's plans. That's Satan himself. He's been defeated already. Just pray.
Don't mean to spook you, but this is New Orleans, so my queens do voodoo. You don't mean to spook you, but this is New Orleans, so my queens do voodoo. You don't mean to spook you, but this is New Orleans, so my queens do voodoo. You don't mean to spook you, but this is New Orleans, so my queens do voodoo. You don't mean to spook you, but this is New Orleans, so my queens do voodoo.
it too bad. You're the one. Want for you to have my son. Too bad. You're the one. Want for you to have my son. Too bad.